Imagine a B2B market with no boundaries, a raw, unfiltered environment where every single business on Earth is treated as a potential buyer. Many companies operate under the assumption that casting the widest possible net maximizes growth. They try to sell to everyone, expanding their total addressable market into infinity. The result on the sales floor is immediate friction. Sales representatives burn hours chasing down low-intent inquiries, and the CRM fills up with poor-fit leads that have no mathematical probability of closing. Even when those deals do close, the damage shifts downstream. Customer success teams are forced to support clients who lack the technical infrastructure or budget to actually use the product, ensuring they will churn out by the end of the year. Trying to sell to everyone is a structural failure. It drives up customer acquisition costs and destroys any chance of revenue predictability. This diagram illustrates how to engineer predictable growth. A highly disciplined go-to-market strategy has to pass the total market through two distinct operational filters. The first layer is the ideal customer profile, or ICP. This is the macro filter. It mathematically isolates the specific organizations that have the resources and alignment to be profitable clients, rejecting everything else. But organizations do not sign contracts, people do. The second layer is the buyer persona. This microfilter maps the specific individuals inside that qualified company who hold the actual decision-making power. These profiles are not subjective marketing exercises. They are hard, data-driven parameters that dictate how the entire revenue engine operates. Scaling revenue requires answering two distinct questions. Which company is capable of buying the solution, and how do we navigate their internal human network to close the deal? Building an ideal customer profile starts by looking at historical data, not relying on instinct. You execute win-loss analyses and study which existing customer segments generate the highest retention and expansion revenue. From that data, you extract baseline variables. The first is industry. Selling software to a healthcare provider requires entirely different compliance features, security protocols, and messaging than selling to a retail chain. The second variable is company size. Employee headcount and annual revenue dictate the organization's budget constraints and the level of product complexity they can actually absorb. The third is geography. Language barriers, local compliance laws, and your team's time zones and sales coverage areas strictly determine whether servicing an account is mathematically viable. Combine these and you establish a rigid parameter. For example, your target is specifically UK-based financial services companies with 250 to 5,000 employees. These baseline metrics form the outer perimeter of your go-to-market operations. They physically block your sales and marketing teams from wasting time on accounts that cannot afford or utilize your product. Matching firmographics alone will not close a deal. A target account must also experience a severe, identifiable pain point that creates operational friction. They need a problem expensive enough to justify purchasing a solution. You identify this friction by looking for buying triggers. Temporal events like a recent funding round, a new regulatory audit, or a leadership change create immediate purchasing urgency. The final and frequently overlooked variable in the macro filter is the client's ability to succeed. This measures whether the target account possesses the internal data maturity and executive sponsorship required to implement your product. If they buy it but cannot deploy it, the sale becomes a liability. The advanced ICP identifies accounts poised to successfully adopt the product, expand their footprint, and renew over time. As this network map shows, once an organization clears the macro filter, the strategy shifts. An enterprise doesn't make a purchase, a specific group of individuals does. This is where buyer personas operate. Rather than focusing on superficial demographic traits, we define these personas by their functional business mechanics, their job titles, their daily operational metrics, and their primary objections. The decision maker holds the authority to approve the project, often relying heavily on the influencer, whose expertise shapes the technical evaluation and strategic direction of the purchase. Meanwhile, the economic buyer controls the budget, strictly scrutinizing the return on investment. Alongside them sits the gatekeeper, often in procurement or legal, whose sole focus is mitigating risk, managing vendor compliance, and negotiating contract terms. Enterprise deals require consensus across this entire committee. If your sales team aligns with the technical users but ignores the financial or legal parameters of the gatekeepers, the deal will fail. Closing a qualified account means navigating a complex maze of competing and often contradictory individual priorities. Consider the process of selling a corporate AI training platform to an enterprise account. The product remains static, but the pitch does not. When speaking to the HR director, the value proposition centers on workforce readiness, positioning the platform as a tool for scalable employee upskilling. When the conversation shifts to the chief technology officer, the messaging pivots. The focus becomes building internal technical capability to execute complex engineering initiatives and prevent project delays. For the finance director, technical specifications are irrelevant. You strip away the architecture details and frame the software purely as an instrument for reducing external hiring costs and delivering measurable ROI. Finally, the procurement manager requires a proposition built around vendor reliability, transparent pricing structures, and strict data compliance. If a sales representative presents the CTO's deep technical specifications to the finance director, they introduce immediate deal friction. Dynamic message rotation is a mandatory mechanic in enterprise sales. This simulated dashboard illustrates how these theoretical matrices are directly programmed into a company's CRM architecture to automate revenue operations. When a new lead enters, the system executes a mathematical evaluation. It assigns positive points for matching company size, operating in a target geography, and holding a high-intent executive job title. Conversely, it automatically penalizes poor fit variables, aggressively subtracting points for competitor domains, unqualified regions, or junior job titles that lack purchasing authority. This automated scoring logic dictates pipeline velocity. It routes high-value prospects directly to senior account executives, ensuring sales teams only engage with leads statistically proven to convert. By programming these strict filters into the RevOps math, an organization protects its customer acquisition costs and strips human bias out of the sales pipeline. The ICP and persona matrix serves as the master architectural blueprint for the entire organization, extending far beyond the sales and marketing departments. Product management relies on this data to prioritize the engineering roadmap. They dedicate development cycles to features that serve the most profitable segments, rather than trying to satisfy everyone. Partnership teams use these parameters to identify strategic ecosystem allies who already serve the target market, while customer success teams use them to identify risk factors and predict long-term client retention. Ultimately, implementing a dual filter system gives an organization the quantitative confidence to look at a poor fit revenue opportunity and say no. In B2B go-to-market strategy, revenue predictability is directly proportional to target clarity. You can only scale what you accurately define.